Hey, it's Daniel Jacob here, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the dark side of being good with women. And I want to tell you a personal story. So when I was 18 years old and I finished up high school, I went to work as a counselor at a sleepaway camp. Now, this camp was far away from my hometown because I grew up in New Jersey. And growing up, I never had success with women. I was one of the more unpopular kids in my school. I was insecure, I was needy, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I had absolutely no success with women growing up. I would watch kids that were basketball players, lacrosse players, football players, date the types of girls that I wanted, and those types of girls wouldn't even look my way. As I would walk down the hallway and try to make eye contact with these types of girls that I was really into, they would give me these like weird looks of, why the fuck are you looking at me? You know, get out of here, you creep. Like those types of looks. And I would walk down with my head down and just think to myself, like, I can't wait to finish high school. I can't wait to, get to a point where my reputation isn't fixed, where I could actually work on myself and start going out there and create a completely new reality for myself. And that's what happened when I went away to this camp. Was that this was an opportunity for myself to completely reinvent myself. I didn't have to be who I used to be, right? I could almost create this new identity and this new persona that was a lot more confident and a lot more charismatic. And that is exactly what I did. And now, being at this camp, I decided that I was going to be one of the more popular people out of everybody there. I was going to be the cool kid. I would start to emulate the behaviors that I learned from kids in my high school. And I basically acted my way through that summer. And funny enough, was able to attract the most beautiful girl at that camp. And now me and this girl started to date. We started to get intimate with each other. We started to really connect at a very deep level and have a relationship. But by the end of the summer, my neediness and my insecurities spilled out on the surface, and she ended up breaking up with me. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went into that, part of which was that I just lied to her about having a lot more experience than I did. I acted like I was a player. I acted like I really knew what I was doing, not just in terms of talking to her, but in the bedroom where I was a virgin. I had absolutely no experience. So when the time came for us to actually take that next step and have sex, I failed and I flopped and I couldn't even get it up. And then I basically went into this super needy mode of chasing her and trying to beg her to be my girlfriend. And she broke up with me at the end of that summer. Now, this is really tough because this is a girl that I was in love with. And I thought that I would have a future with her, that we would date each other, we would have something together moving forward after camp ended. But everything just shattered. And I was left again being that guy who was all alone, who didn't know what the hell he was doing with women, and basically from ground zero. So this inspired me to really go on this personal development journey at the age of 18 years old, where most guys, they only start working on their dating life when they're about 25, 30. So I got a bit of a head start, and that's the gift that came out of all of this. Now, I started to go out 4 or 5 nights a week, read every single pickup book, every single YouTube video out there in terms of dating and seduction, and just fully immersed myself in this whole entire world of learning how to get good with women and build my confidence. Now, what happened was that at first, it was tough. I struggled. I had approach anxiety. I was scared of rejection. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a tough time actually getting girls interested in me. But over time, through just repetition after repetition after repetition, I started to get really, really good, right? It took about 3-4 years of just going out to bars every single night, approaching women during the day, in the cafeteria, at the mall, in grocery stores, getting numbers. I started to get some really good results. I started sleeping with a lot of women. And eventually I became almost like a playboy. I had 3, 4, 5 women that I was talking to, that I was dating at the same time. I would eventually get bored of them. I would get rid of them. Then I would fly to go visit some other city. I would start a whole new rotation of women. While I was on vacation, I would always be picking up women. So it became my identity, is that I turned into this like pickup artist who needed women. I needed that validation of getting phone numbers and getting dates and getting sex every single week to feel good about myself. And I noticed, like almost like a drug addict, when I wasn't getting that, I would feel these intense symptoms of withdrawal. I felt like I needed to go out and to start approaching. Now, to you, this might sound a little bit ridiculous if you're not even meeting women in the first place. You might think to yourself, well, I hope that someday I could get to this point of being able to get lots of women and lots of results with women and be able to confidently walk up to them. But eventually I realized that there is actually a really dark side to getting good with women. And that dark side is basically abandoning the real reason why you got into this whole thing in the first place, which for me was to find a high quality woman, was to develop myself, was to build the confidence, to build the skills, to get a little bit of abundance in my life, to experience what I like, what I don't like in terms of dating, and eventually find the right person for me and have a beautiful relationship. But instead, I got lost in the process of chasing and pursuing women rather than using approaching as a tool that would allow me to find my ideal partner. And that was one of the biggest realizations I had a couple of years ago. Was I got to the point where I had everything that I've ever wanted in terms of outer results, but I wasn't fulfilled inside. I was still unhappy. I was still very attached to getting these external results. I was still in some ways reliant in terms of my self-worth on how well I did with women. And I didn't feel good about myself. And I constantly needed to be in this hamster wheel of new girl, new girl, new girl coming into my life. So the lesson I want you to take out of this is that you absolutely need to learn how to approach women. You can't be in a state of avoidance. You have to get to a point where you're able to go out there and get the types of women that you want. But once you learn how to do this, don't stop there. Use this as a tool and as a conduit to actually connecting with the right person for yourself, right? Think about, why is it that you got into this journey in the first place? It's most likely to have a fulfilling relationship. And that's exactly what we help our clients with, right? Because a lot of the guys we work with inside of the accelerator are not looking to become players. They're not looking to be these playboys that just travel the world and smash as many girls as possible. They want to have a fulfilling relationship. They're 30, they're 35, they're 40, they run successful businesses, and they want to find their ideal partners. And the way that we help them get there is through this 3-step process of, number 1, build the confidence and the skills with women. Number 2, achieve a level of abundance. And number 3 is become the selector and select the best woman for you. So if you want to learn how to do this, click the link below, check out our 7-minute documentary, apply, book in a call with me, and if it's a fit, we'll talk about what it looks like to work together inside of the accelerator.